Hi everybody, this is Daryl Onay, Music Director of the Victoria Symphony Orchestra, and I hope I haven't kept you all too much in suspense from our last Midweek Maestro Message about conducting from memory. I talked to you about the steps, and then, well, we ended up running out of time. So here we get to the real nitty-gritty. So this is going to take a little brain power, so hope you can follow me. So let's begin. We are going to try to memorize the first part of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. So let's just talk a little bit about the symphony. The symphony is in 4 movements, and each of the movement has a different structure to it. And it's important to know the structure because then you kind of know where you're going in the piece. Think of being in a car and you're driving, you got some direction, you want to know where you are going, and so you know you go along for 2 blocks and then you turn a right for 2 blocks and then you make a left for 2 blocks and then you got to go for 3 blocks and then you got to go turn again for another 2 blocks. It's always nice to know that you got to go 2 blocks and to make a right and then 2 blocks and make a left, but then you have to go 3 blocks and then make a right. So it's nice to know, okay, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 2 blocks. You kind of have this idea, you have this map in your mind of where you're going. And that's what happens when you take this piece apart and you study it and you see what the structure is. So we're going to look at this first movement and just this opening section. Every opening symphony, a large symphony, is usually written in the same form. It's called sonata allegro form, and it's a 3-part form. Simply put, it's a set of themes that we would say make up a first section, and then taking all those themes and playing around with it in the middle section and bringing all those back. And when you bring them back, they're oftentimes pretty close to the same as you bring it over here. So if you've memorized part 1, then you'll also have memorized most of part 3, and then you just have to worry about 2. And of course 2 is usually made up of material from 1, so it's not like you're rebuilding the house on the second time each time. We're just going to look at the first part. Now usually this first part is called the exposition. In a movement it's called exposition, development, and recapitulation. Those are the 3 parts of a what they call a sonata allegro form movement, which is how first movements of symphonies are written and how Beethoven did it with his Fifth Symphony. So we're just going to look at the exposition itself. Now in looking through the score, we'll find out that as I page through it, that it basically has an introduction, an A theme, a B theme, and then a closing, and that's what makes up the exposition. So it doesn't sound too difficult, does it? An introduction, an opening theme, a second theme, and then a closing. So just 4 little bits. So just so we get a little idea of breaking it down. We all know this opening, right? We all know that. So we know we have this big statement opening. And then we have this, taking that little 4-note motive. That one. But now we multiply it a few times. So that's the opening, right? But you get these phrases. So here's basically you have 4-bar phrase. Da da da, 1 and a 2 and a 3, 4, and another one. Da da da, 1 and da 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 da. 4 and 4. Then da 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 ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba. Another 4. So we got 4, 4, and 4. Then ya da da dump, bump, ba. And we have the stop, and then bum. Then we have ba 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 ba. Another beat statement like the beginning. So far that's what we have. That A theme is that, and then we have this. Let's do that again. So you play the same 4 bars twice. And then we have this. Another 4. So we have 4, 4, and 4. Again, like we had in the opening. 3 4-bar phrases. 3 4-bar phrases before. We have 3 more. And then we have this. Now there we don't have 4, but we have 6 bars. This so he made it a little bit bigger. This is kind of like that 3 blocks, like I was telling you about when you're driving. 2, 2, and all of a sudden 3. It's always been 4, but now here's 6 bars in the phrase. And then we return back to the normal 8. Yada pa 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 pa. That's 4. Then we have the violins. Then that's another 4. Then one more. That's another 4. Then the horn. And now we're going to the second theme of this opening section. There's 2 themes, an A B theme and a B theme. The A theme is that one, okay? Now we go here, and now we've got this horn, and then we have this. Very pretty. And it gets repeated again. But then it repeats it even one more time. So the first time, violins, next the clarinet, next the flute. And what do we have? Violins. Da da, 1, 2, 3. Clarinet. 4, 1, 2, 3. Flute. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 3 groups of 4. First the violins play it, then the clarinet plays it, then the flute plays it. Then we have the violins play a set of 8 bars. Da da dun, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we build on this. So now we have this whole section. And what is that? Well, that's another 12 bars. 4, 4, and 4. Ya da 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 dum bum bum ba ba bum. 4, 4, 4 again. Ya da ba 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 da 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 ba ba ba. Another 8-bar phrase. And then we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's that funny 3 block thing I was telling you about. 6 bars again, and then we come to the end. And that's it. That is the exposition. So essentially, you got the intro, the theme played a couple of different ways, and then the building up to it, and then that's the A theme, and then the B theme after the horn, and then we have that lovely 3 times, and then building and building again, and we have these odd 6-bar phrases that are going on throughout, and finally coming to the closing where we have the same da 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 da. So it's a series of 4-bar phrases with 2 6-bar phrases thrown in. And usually the 4 bars are in groups of 3, 4, 4, and 4 for 12. So I know this sounds like a lot of numbers, but again, it's kind of good to know that these are happening. You know, once you start hearing, you think, yeah, da 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 da. Now, it sounds pretty and beautiful, and I've just heard 3 4-bar phrases go by. Ba 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 bum bum ba. Stop. Ba bum ba bum. Then ya da 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 ba 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 bum da 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 ba 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 bum. 2 4-bar phrases. Da 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 da. Another 4-bar phrase. Then ba da ba 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 da ba ba. 6 bars. That's that funny 6 bars. Ya da 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 da. 4. Ba 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 ba. 4. Ba 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 ba. Horn. And then the beautiful second themes that happens. So once you start putting the numbers together with what you hear, things start to come together. So let's go over to the recording of it, listen and follow through, and I'll just kind of count out the bars and the maps as we go by, and you'll see how quickly and how easily it works. Okay, so now that we've gone through the structure and all those little numbers of phrases, 4s and 6s and all that, let's see how that goes realistically into the music. And let's listen to this recording and we'll go along with all the phrases. So here's the big opening. Now here's the first phrase. 1 2 3 4. 2 2 3 4. 3 4. And big closing. One more statement. Again. 8 1 2 3 2 2 3 4 3 2 3 4. Here's 6 bar. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then 4 again. Another 2. 4 again. Another 4. 1 2 3 4. 2 big chords. Now the horn entry. Now the B theme. Violins 2 3. Clarinet 2 2 3. Flute 3 3 2 3 4. Now the violins play this 8-bar phrase. 1 2 3 4. Now another 4 2 3 4 3 2 3 4. Now 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Now 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1. Now 4s. 3 4. Again another 4. Another 4. 1 2 3 4. Okay, so you can see where those 6s came up. Those are those turns on the street that you had to do in three blocks instead of 2 blocks. So we had those 2 6s in there, but otherwise they're a series of 4s, and you can kind of count it out. So you can kind of see how it gives you an idea of where you're going in the piece. So know the structure, know where things are going, know the chord structure. So now let's talk a little bit about the chord structure. Okay, everybody, the chord structure. Now, at the beginning, there's no chords because it's just this. There may be something implied in that, but now the beginning, now that whole bit is just this chord. It's the key, it's the pieces in C minor, so that's a C minor chord. Then it goes to this. G major. So C minor and G major chords. Then back to C minor, back to G major, C minor. Now an A flat chord. But otherwise it's really mainly 2 chords. Da 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 da. That's C minor. Then G. Da 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 da. Now we go between those 2. Da 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 da. C minor, G, C minor, G, C minor, at A flat. So for all that, it's really only 2 chords, and then that 1 A flat chord. Then it goes on. Whoops, sorry. Then we have. So now all that is ya da 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 da. That's that G chord. Da 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 da. That's the C minor chord again. That's the same two chords. Da 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 da. That's it. And then when it goes on, ya da da da. That's C minor, but now we introduce a third chord, F minor chord. Then it goes back to that F minor chord. Now it's just variations of the C, the F minor, and the G, basically. And we have, that's all C minor, the same C minor chord. What's that? That's that G chord again. Now, finally a new chord. Because we're going to a new key for the second theme, which is E flat major. That's E flat. Now that whole next section with all that whole theme is pretty much always that. Just E flat, B flat, E flat, B flat. Just like the first part was C minor G, C minor G. So essentially, the B section is also only these two chords until finally building and building. Then back to the E flat and B flat, all the way to the end until finally you get this E flat, E flat. So the structure of the chords is pretty simple for the Beethoven Fifth opening. Just the beginning two chords with an occasional one extra chord here and there, and in the middle section, just the two chords also with an occasional extra chord here. So harmonically, it's really simple, but it helps to know when the chords are changing and according to the phrases. So now you understand how the piece is put together in terms of all the phrases and the structure and how the chords together. And now you were starting to get it into our heads. Okay, so number one, analyze, and that's what we just did. We know the structure. We have a roadmap in our brain. We know how the chord structure is and where these different instruments are playing. We can do that and study that in the score. Now, second thing, get it in your head, get it in your ear. That's why I personally, and I know this is a controversy amongst some conductors, I personally like to listen to various performances, whether live or video or recorded, for a variety of reasons. One is that I hear something and it might be something interesting that I never thought of. Maybe he slows down a little bit more here, or she makes this louder, or however it looks. If I watch it in video, sometimes it's interesting to see and watch the performers. I might see a bowing that's different in the strings, and so I like to watch it for that, so I can incorporate that in the study of my score and get that in my brain as well. So I have, probably with Beethoven Fifth, I probably have 8 or 9 different recordings. Some of them on my computer, some of them on vinyl, some of them on video. I often go to YouTube and I listen to recordings and watch recordings of other conductors doing these pieces. So I spend some time doing that as well. I can get an idea of what they're doing sound-wise, what they're doing with the tempo. I like to, in my scores, when I study them, I like to study them, and then in this corner here, I put all the different conductors I study, what their tempo is for the piece, and I do that for all the different places where it occurs, so that when I'm working on it, I can look at the tempo and I can compare it to what Beethoven wrote here, and then what other conductors have done here, and get an idea of what I like. Because Beethoven wrote Allegro con brio, which means fast with fire. And later, when the metronome was invented, then he put metronome markings in after the fact. And of course, we don't know if that metronomes that he used were the same as the ones that we have, or mechanically as sound, or they didn't have quartz digital at that time. So they're not always the most reliable, and oftentimes there are metronome markings that it seems it's almost unplayable. Why did Beethoven write that? So we use it as a guide, but not as the gold standard. And sometimes we just simply, as musicians, feel a different tempo than what's there. And so that's why it's good to study these different recordings. So I like to do that and get that in my ear. I like to sit at the piano and play through the parts, like I was just doing for you a little bit earlier. And I like to be able to sit there, as I said, to close my eyes and go da 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 bum 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 bum. See, I have it in my ear, and I can see the structure going by in my mind. So I sing through the part to myself, and sometimes I'll be conducting. I'll say chord French horn, da 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 da, violins, da 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 da, not clarinet, dee 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 dee. And I do it enough times, and I know what instrument's playing, what the tune is, what the chord is, ya da 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 da, E flat major, B flat, E flat major, or da 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 da, C minor, da 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 da, G major, da 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 da, and I can sing all the notes. I do that so that I really know the chordal structure as well, and it takes a lot of time, as you can imagine, but if I can do it, you can do it, anybody can do it. So I get it in my ear. And then finally the third thing, practice, practice, practice. Yeah, I sit there and I get my baton and I go through it so I know that I'm clear, or I know I give a good upbeat, and then when I bring it in, boom, that I know it's clear, and I watch myself to see if it is in my mirror. I sing through the part. I even sing it at different tempos to decide if I want it to go da 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 da, or if I want it to go da 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 da. What is allegro con brio? Fast with fire. With fire. What's that fire mean for some people? Some people it means it's a blazing fast fire. Some people think it's a roaring fire. Maybe yum ba 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 instead of ba 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 ba. So it really is up to you. But anyway, I practice, 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 practice until at the end I can close my eye and I can sing through the whole piece. I can cue every instrument, and I can stop and say, what's the chord here at this spot? And by doing that, it frees me up so that when I'm standing in front of the orchestra, I can look to the players. And there's a lot of cues we take from each other. I see them. Sometimes I see a wind player about to play a phrase, and about the way they get ready to play it. And it changes the way my gesture is. And if my gesture is like this, then maybe the strings will come in as ba instead of going and I'll get that from them. Or when it comes to the soloists, I might give them this, and then they'll see what I want and they'll play it that way. And so it's hard to do that when you're going like this. Am I in the right spot? Did I lose my spot? Where are you? Looking at the score all the time. So it's great to have the score in your head rather than your head in the score. And it isn't the same for everybody, and I'm not saying that everybody should memorize a score, and I don't do it for everything either. But I do it for a lot of things, and I find it very helpful for me to make contact with the players, It's very freeing for me to know that I know the piece that well, and I don't have to turn pages, and I don't have the physical impediment of a score and a stand in front of me. And as some of you know, I like to move quite a bit, and I like to make big sweeping gestures as well as small ones. So I like the space as well. So that's the reason why I do it. But anyway, it's not magic. It's not a photographic memory per se, but it's practice over and over again until I know it. I know it so well, I begin to start seeing pages in my mind. I start to hear what's coming up next. I can see the structure in my brain. I know where it's going, and I know it like I've heard other performances and other recordings and other videos of it. So I know it like you know your favorite song, or when you're watching your favorite movie, you go, oh, here's a spot where this happens. You know ahead when it's going to happen because you just know it so well. And that's what I do with the pieces that I conduct from memory. So that is my short tutorial and a demonstration of how to memorize a score. So conducting from memory. It's just a lot of hard work, just like it is for anybody memorizing anything. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found this interesting. And stay safe and stay tuned for the next Midweek Maestro Message, as well as our VSO Viral videos with all of our principal players, and our solo shorts that features many of the VSO's past soloists, all giving personal messages and short performances. We'll continue to do this as long as I've got soloists who will be willing to do it, principal players to do it, and as long as we are still in this sheltering in place. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll continue to watch us.